Bullets pinged off the helicopter's hull as we lifted away from the port. Through the chaos, the scream of the engines and the roar of the machine guns, time seemed to slow to a trickle. The crew chief ripped off burst after burst from the door gun as the NH-90 maneuvered violently, her pilot trying to avoid the incoming fire. My team leader, Ramirez, was wounded, bleeding out. Taylor was talking into the radio, trying to hide the fear in his voice. Skunky was firing his M14 out one door while the mysterious Exodus operatives were on the other side of the cabin, huddled protectively around the young girl they'd just rescued. Her hair was silver, almost white. Her face was dirty, and there was fear in her eyes. We hadn't gone onto the ship with them. That was their op. We were just supposed to provide transportation and security, supposedly the easy part. Exodus performed the extraction. Several of them died in the process, but they got the girl. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know why she was so important, why the arms dealer Fedorov kidnapped her in the first place, or why Exodus paid us so much money to help recover her. The girl's eyes, intensely blue, unnervingly clear, locked onto me, and everything else seemed to fade away. The fear left her face for just a moment, replaced with curiosity? Interest? She cocked her head very slightly to one side as Ling, the Chinese woman who led the Exodus operatives, and their medic looked her over. She was staring right at me. "Only you can save us." Bang! I came crashing back to reality when a large round blasted a hole in the hull of the chopper. The screams of men were joined with the scream of a warning klaxon. I was pinned against my seat as the chopper began rotating. Through the open door I could see Cancun spinning all around us. The ground rushed up to meet us. My eyes snapped open. A bead of sweat trickled down my head as I quickly looked around, breathing heavily, trying to remember where I was. "Are you okay?" Skunky asked. I was sitting in the driver's seat of a car. It was dark out. I took a moment to catch my breath. Yeah, I'm fine. Did you have a bad dream?" I closed my eyes for a long moment, trying to will my heart to slow down. The chopper crashed in Mexico again. Skunky winced. He had been on that op too. His real name was Jeff, and we'd been through a lot together. Riding a helicopter into a swimming pool wasn't the worst thing we'd been through, not even close. "How long was I out?" "About an hour," he said. "You kept watching the house, right?" "No, man, I zoned out playing War of Battle Clans on my phone. Of course I was watching the house. One of us actually has to work." He had a night vision scope in his hands and a big camera on the dash. We were parked down the road a bit from the target, away from the streetlights, in the shadows beneath some trees. I stretched. "I'm the brains of this operation. I need my rest." Exodus had sustained terrible losses in the operation at the crossroads and was desperately short on manpower. There were only 6 of us in Austria, trying to prevent the end of the world. I kept telling myself that was the reason I was here, that they needed me. They say it is good to be needed. I didn't know about that, since the only thing I'd ever been needed for was war. I shifted uncomfortably in my seat. We had been sitting in this BMW M3 for hours. Whoever would have thought this is where we'd end up? From a helicopter crash in Mexico to a Beamer in Austria. Skunky shook his head. "I think it was meant to be. I don't believe in coincidences like this. You know, Ariel told me I was right where I needed to be. You should listen to her. She's a smart girl. She knows stuff." That was an understatement. Ariel was the girl we'd rescued off that ship, the weird one from my dream. Only she was all grown up now and palling around with Exodus, a secret organization dedicated to protecting the weak in all the places the civilized world didn't give a damn about, but which was unfortunately considered a terrorist organization by every law enforcement agency in the world. So she'd come a long way.